Hi folks, how's it going? Decided to do this video instead of sending you a long email. Basically, ding, the blue notebooks are here, as are your textbooks for your students. Each student gets one of these books and I want you to use these with them. It's really simple. Get them into the habit of making lists. List of phrasal verbs, list of travel vocabulary, theme-based vocabulary lists, holiday vocabulary, environment vocabulary. They put the list here and then a translation next to it, any other additional information. In the front of the book, get them to put an index. Front to back is vocabulary lists, and then if they want, they can do another index from the back for grammar points or any other relevant information. I always get them started and I do one that says, useful expressions. And we go through take advantage of, to make the most of, aprovechar. Looking forward to, tener ganas de. It's worth it, it's worth, gerundio, merece la pena. And so I get them to start that list there and then get them to use this and remind them, well, this is useful for speaking part 1 or any of the other conversation-based activities they have to do. They do this because it means, these are the justifications, this is what you've got to tell your students. They do this because it means at least once that they've looked at their notes. They'll end up with a massive pile of notes, a notebook which is really disorganised. Get them to have 2 notebooks, their own and this one. This is like the finished article. The rest of it, if your classes are like mine, their vocabulary and the stuff that they write in their books is all over the place, and so it's not organised. So it's not really worth looking at, to be honest. It needs to be transferred into an organised notebook, into lists. I've been doing this with my students now and for the intensive students, and they are really happy with it. You might find that some of your students in your classes, if they're my old students, have their own books and they're continuing with this method because it works. Other reasons they make it into lists is because that means in class, when you're covering a topic or theme, they can get their notebook out and they can use it within class. If you say to them, oh, what was that phrasal verb or that expression from a couple of weeks ago, they can look in their notebooks and they can actively find it. So they've taken ownership of their learning. The main reason, obviously, is that at the end of the course, when they come to revise, they don't just have a massive pile of notes, they have their notebook and it's easy to use. And finally, tell them that this, because it's this size, this can go in their drawer at work, or this can slide into their little travel bag when they're going travelling, and it's far more useful as a tool than having just a shitload of notes that aren't relevant to anything. Okay, so those are the reasons why we do it. Think about it. If you have any questions, let me know, but I'm going to insist that we do this with the students. If it means that you tell them, if they've got classes on a Monday and then classes on Wednesday, well, it's unlikely they're going to do lots of homework within 2 days. Just tell them to update their notebooks, or over the weekends, every week or every 2 weeks, make sure that they're updating their notebooks. Supporting this, obviously you have all the material on our Facebook page, and I've been making vocabulary word lists which they can copy straight into here. Tell them as well, okay, it's all good doing phrasal verbs or photocopying and sticking stuff in here, but it's far better to draw a little picture for the phrasal verbs, write a little example sentence relevant to them so they can learn it that way. And any of these info memes that I have I've posted, instead of just photocopying, take the time to copy them into your notebooks in their own hand. This means that they're using the creative part of their mind, they're using cognitive ability, there's all these different parts of their brain joining together, more neurons connecting, and they'll recall the information more easily. Okay? 5 minutes, done. Yes, that.